The chilliest epoch of the Cold War, the SR71 Blackbird, a strategic reconnaissance aircraft, took its first flight. This legendary aircraft, devised by Lockheed's Skunkworks team under the watchful eye of visionary designer Kelly Johnson, was an unparalleled marvel of aviation technology that pushed boundaries, testing the limits of what was conceivable. Constructed primarily from titanium, a material known for its high strength-to-weight ratio and extraordinary tolerance for extreme temperatures, the Blackbird was an unrivaled marvel. And titanium, though, posed the unique set of challenges. This brittle alloy was delicate, requiring new training and techniques for the machinists and even new tools made from titanium itself to prevent contamination and embrittlement. However, the biggest challenge was not just managing the peculiarities of titanium, but acquiring it in the first place. Cold War, the most abundant source of this precious metal was ironically located within the borders of America's primary adversary, the Soviet Union. In an audacious feat of Cold War subterfuge, the U.S. government orchestrated an intricate network of third-party nations and faux companies to purchase and ship the much-needed rutile ore from the Soviet Union. This covert operation allowed the U.S. to construct the Blackbird, all while the Soviets unknowingly supplied the raw materials for an aircraft that would be used to spy on them. This epic tale of ingenuity, resourcefulness, and strategic maneuvering in the creation of the SR-71 Blackbird sets a fitting stage for understanding the current race in AI development between private corporations and open-source communities. The SR-71 Blackbird story and its development can be likened to the race in AI development between open-source communities and private companies. So here's a way to draw parallels. The Blackbird in this context is analogous to the advanced AI technologies that are under development. Its unprecedented speed, capability, and the innovative materials needed for its construction reflect the cutting-edge techniques and unique models that AI developers are working on today. Just as the Blackbird required materials like titanium that had to be procured secretly from the USSR, AI development often requires proprietary data or specific tools that may not be readily available or may come from unexpected sources. Private companies often have access to more resources, both in terms of data and funding, similar to how Lockheed had the capabilities and resources to develop the Blackbird. They are the Lockheed Martins of AI development. They have the ability to work on novel and innovative projects. But these developments are often kept confidential due to competitive advantage, much like military projects. On the other hand, the open source community is like the underdog nation trying to develop their own high-speed reconnaissance aircraft. They might not have the same level of resources as private companies, but they are resourceful, innovative, and cooperative, working together to pool their knowledge and achieve similar feats. As the U.S. used third-party nations and bogus operations to acquire titanium, open-source developers often find creative solutions to access needed resources or develop new techniques. In the end, both parties are vying for the same goal, to advance AI technology or to build the fastest aircraft. But the routes they take, the resources they use, and the strategies they employ could be as varied and thrilling as the story of the SR-71 Blackbird. Much like the audacious efforts made to source titanium for this 71 Blackbird, today we find ourselves witnessing an extraordinary competition in the world of AI. The battlefield now is not the vast expanse of the skies, but the infinite realms of algorithms and data. The adversaries are no longer nations, but private tech giants with vast resources and the unbounded, tenacious, collaborative effort of open source communities This is the covert operations that secured the titanium for the SR71 underscored the determination and resourcefulness of a nation. The open source community's commitment to collaboration, transparency, and open access demonstrates the power of a collective unified intelligence. In the face of formidable adversaries, the open source communities have managed to outmaneuver, outpace, and out-innovate their private counterparts emerging from this contest, akin to the victorious Blackbird soaring in the sky. Open source AI has proven to be the triumphant victor, marking an epochal shift in the AI development landscape. The wins were hard-fought, the victories sweet, and the fruits of labor were shared and celebrated across the global community. But with every victory comes responsibility and challenge. As the open source community stands at the peak of their triumph, a new hurdle looms on the horizon. This victory has inadvertently led to the fragmentation and dissolution of the traditional structures for AI control and containment. In a world where AI is becoming increasingly sophisticated and pervasive, the lack of a centralized regulatory framework raises serious concerns about security, ethics, and misuse. Much like the enigma of the Blackbird, the open source community now holds the reins of a powerful tool whose potential is as vast as it is unpredictable. And they stand at a critical crossroads. Ensure that this power is harnessed responsibly and ethically. A new global AI governance structure is needed, one that fosters innovation and inclusivity while safeguarding humanity's best interests. This new era demands a resolution as extraordinary as the SR71 story itself. The open source community, having proven their innovation and tenacity, are poised to be at the forefront of this endeavor, crafting a future where AI serves as a tool for global progress, not a harbinger of unchecked consequences. In the annals of technological triumphs, the victory of open source communities over private companies in the arena of AI development mirrors the audacity and ingenuity of the covert operation that sourced titanium for the SR71 Blackbird. Where the U.S. used cunning and deceptive tactics to source titanium from their rivals, open source communities have applied their collective ingenuity to reverse engineer the innovations of tech giants, using the very tools and outputs of these private firms to improve and advance their own AI model. Just as the U.S. leveraged the resources of their adversary to build the unparalleled SR71, the open source communities have adeptly navigated the labyrinth of AI technology, taking shortcuts through the dense forest of complex algorithms and vast data. They have adeptly used the products of the very entities they competed against as stepping stones towards their own success. But this ingenuity wasn't just about matching stride for stride. It was about leapfrogging to the front, much like the Blackbird soaring high above any rival aircraft. In their quest for superiority, the open source communities ingeniously turned the tables with the same strategic precision that was demonstrated in procuring titanium from the very adversary the U.S. sought to overtake. In doing so, they crafted their own victorious narrative, demonstrating that the strength of collective intelligence, transparency, and collaboration can indeed challenge the dominance of deep-pocketed private entities. However, akin to the post-SR71 era, this victory isn't the end of the journey. Elevation. But their basically effect, what you can do, is the biggest search, and one, the third, how to navigate the future of AI to ensure it's used responsibly and ethically while continuing to inspire innovation and inclusivity. The story continues, and the next chapter is just as critical, if not more so, than the one just written.